Hey, welcome again, guys. Back to another episode of Talking and Talking. Where we share our views and our opinions on every matter. It doesn't matter what your view is. It is your view. You understand me? So, we share our views here. We hope that it will stimulate your views, and we can keep the conversations going. All right, people. So. Wow. As you can see, the Jamaica shirt. Yeah. Regardless. Sorry. Regardless of what has happened, we are still supporters of our homeland. So, but I'm sure that there are people all over who are feeling the same way I am feeling. Feel gutted. Feel like I was let down. Feel like I placed my trust in an administration who I thought would have been able to take us across the line. And if I feel that way, can you imagine those who invested millions of dollars into this administration? I don't think the administration is totally to be blamed, but I think the bulk of the blame lies at their feet. Players also need to be held accountable. But yeah, a hard pill to swallow. When we look at all the works that have been put in place, I think that, and this is just my view, that the president of FIFA, we know how important, how strategic this region is in regards to his re-election and all of that. And there's biases everywhere, and I'm sure that he made an extra effort to try to get, even get Jamaica onto this dance. But boy, we just mess it up. Mess it up, boy. So, nobody to be blamed but us. Yeah, so, I don't know why I have this dry cough. But seriously, the World Cup when we look at the World Cup campaign, and the benefits that we're deriving from it, because we have to try to find some positive. When I look back, it certainly was a tumultuous time, a tumultuous venture that we undertook. At the start, we knew it was going to be challenging, but to use this word tumultuous, is what it spiraled into. It was a total chaos. The result was not in our benefit, or benefited us in a positive way. We embarked on this 4-year journey to make it to the 2026 World Cup. And we started with a coach, I think that's Coach Al Grimson, yes. And I think there were some positives, some early positives that we saw. And maybe if we were a little more patient, he would have probably taken us across the line. However, I'm not one of those persons who think that the Jamaican program needed an international coach. Certainly not. I thought it was a most advantageous circumstance for us. Not just for us, but advantageous in the sense that it was an opportunity for us to not just showcase our players, but also showcase our coaches. Yes, this was an opportunity for Jamaica to put its foot forward fully, without any help from outside coaches. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We saw something else. I guess we cannot give credit where credit is due, and we don't understand that when we do things like that, we are making a clear statement about ourselves that nobody should trust us also. So we went through what, three coaches. And when I say advantageous, it wasn't just for us, but other persons saw it as an advantageous situation also. For him, it was clearly said, and we saw it with our own eyes, the eye test, that he didn't bring much. He didn't bring much to the table. You know what I mean? But he saw it as something that he could take an advantage of. You know what I mean? And he certainly threw his hat in the ring. And we chose him, regardless of the numerous talks that that people did not feel comfortable with him leading us. The mere fact that he was away from the game for such a long time, which is very credible advice. If you've been away from your occupation over a period of time, it creates a lot of lapse, and then and a lot of questions. So he certainly wasn't a good choice for us, but we chose him. And as I said, he didn't bring anything, no expertise. He totally came relying on what we had, and also relying on what I say, luck, pure luck, to take us across the line. And I remember when he came in, questions were asked of him, how he would reconstruct the team and all of that, and all he said was that he thought that we had a strong defense, and I took from that that was what his reliance was on. So the campaign failed. You understand me? And I think he saw the writing on the wall, and he took himself as quickly as possible. Well, rather later than sooner. You know what I mean? Yeah, but as I say, it's quite deflating, disturbing. That we are not going to be at the 2026 World Cup. People would have, to be honest with you, I made plans to watch even one or two games. I had friends who were planning to come, and I was planning to accommodate people and all of that. And our sails were just lifted from under us. No, I'm going to say something that might seem a bit controversial rather. But when I look back at how the administration dealt with things, and I alluded to some of the positives that came out of Coach Algrim's, and notably those were structural things, not much administrative things. Well, maybe it goes hand in hand, administrative and structural things that came out. But when I look back at how the administration dealt with players and dealt with circumstances and the politicking around the football and all of that, all these things were signs that this administration was not the administration to take us to the World Cup. I look back at '98 when we were qualifying to the World Cup, and I think Captain Borrell's approach was that of probably a big stick way. It was his way or the highway, but certainly from a business perspective, we knew that this man was serious about business, the way he operated, the way he spoke, the way he carried himself, very businesslike. We were proud. And on the backs of that, we went to the World Cup. Now, 22 years after, when you look at the way these administrators and the overall administration has dealt with things and how, the way they carry themselves, as administrators, it doesn't goes well, it doesn't boost confidence, and it does not even encourage the players. You know what I mean? So, with that said, no wonder we did not make it to the World Cup. And if all of the ills and all of the issues that we were having, if we hadn't made it to the World Cup on the backs of all of that, I guarantee you that that would not have gone well for us in the future. That is not the precedence that we want. No. And so until we can replicate or we can surpass, I believe, what Captain Borrell stood for and how he commanded respect, not just of him, not just of his business colleagues, but even of the players, then on those things, I think we'll be ready to see a next World Cup, enter next World Cup. All right, guys. So I thought that was maybe a little too somber, a somber moment. But after all, when I make it to the World Cup, so you could have seen that my expression couldn't be anything other than that, right? Like somebody died. Yeah. Anyway, the two games that we play, against New Caledonia and DR Congo, two contrasting games. One, we did not use our strength, the strength of our players, and the results. Even though we got a favorable result, it was not a result that boosted confidence or morale, especially in us as spectators. But a win is a win. So then we went to Went and we played DR Congo, and for me, I didn't have any great expectations. Um, I think watching the game, they were it was uninspiring, especially from the Jamaican standpoint. I could see that the DR Congo was a structured team. Jamaica was more of more individualistic. You know what I mean? We were depending on a few players to show up. And unless those players are Messi and Ronaldo and, Diego Maradona and all of that, who can take a team on them back and do it, I didn't see where we had a chance. I think it was just a matter of time, when the game started, that the DR Congo would have found their footing and scored a few goals on us. However, they only scored one. Um, I, I couldn't see where we had a plan. I didn't see our plan. Our defense seemed structured, as usual, rugged, but our transition out of defense, we couldn't. We couldn't transition out. We had our midfielders could not make a forward pass without losing possession of the ball, and we rarely, maybe two or three times made a forward pass. Um, there was not much positives to take from the game. You know what I mean? Not much positive at all. And the DR Congo, I must say, is the worst of the 9 teams coming out of Africa. And if we looked so terrible against them, then what would be the the goal of even going to the World Cup? You know what I mean? Um, and I certainly believe that the World Cup is where the best are those with great potential to be the best, showcase their talent, and trust me, Jamaica is the furthest from that. Um, I hope from this, we can pick up the pieces. Um, I hope we do not continue with the same strategies and hoping to get, a different result. There's, I hope there would have, I hope the, the team and the administration, more so the administration, will sit down and, do an assessment and see where, they've gone wrong. Yeah. Certainly, in introspection needs to be done. And but all in all, I mean, we embarked on 4 years, and it's 4 years of failure. As a matter of fact, when you sum it up, it is actually 12 years of failure, and where we had good chances to make it to the World Cup. Um, I'm lost for words, as you can see. What more can I say? All I can say is that I'm looking forward to the 2026 World Cup, and even though Jamaica will not be represented, you know what I mean. I still believe that the beautiful game is the beautiful game, and yeah, you know what I mean. So people, we just pass by for just give my few cents on what I thought about the campaign. Um, and I never not digging too deep because we have said so many things. There's no need to rehash what we had said over the period, or the campaign period. You know what I mean? But we have future. I see future. I see under 20 team, under 17 team that gives me some kind of hope, some kind of hope for the future. You know what I mean? So let's harp on the backs of that, and I hope that the administration will spend more, put more funding into the female game also, because the females are doing very well, and let's hope that we'll come out better after all of this. As I said before, I don't think on the back of this administration was there was going to be written any success. This administration was totally a failure in just the way they approach things administratively, and even the mere fact that somebody had to come from outside to restructure how we should, deal with football in Jamaica. It just shows that we were not ready to take on this big dance. Anyway, guys, remember, like, share, and subscribe. So big up yourself. All good. Blessings.